Two elements are necessary to undertake telemedicine: equipment and transmission method or connectivity. First, we'll consider the equipment. There are different types of telemedicine units. Room systems usually have large viewing screens and movable microphones to allow use by multiple individuals. These systems are usually used for continuing education, group therapy or support groups, and administrative meetings. Self-contained or mobile units are available like the one pictured here. These units are useful for patient visits where examination space is limited. These units have a small footprint and are easily moved. Another type of unit is a desktop system, which can be placed in a clinician's office. Each of these systems has common components. The main components of telemedicine equipment are the main camera, viewing screens, microphones, a codec, and various peripheral equipment such as specialized cameras and diagnostic scopes.
First, the main camera. A camera is used for the clinician to see the patient and the patient to see the clinician. The camera is usually mounted on the top of the screen and allows a view of the examination room or the provider office. Many of these cameras have the ability to zoom in, to move around the room, and to move up and down. These camera functions allow the provider to have a variety of views of the patient. Second, a viewing screen. The screen can be large or small, mounted on the wall or on a unit that makes it easy to transfer from place to place. Most screens have a picture-in-picture function so each person can see themselves as well as the other site. Sometimes multiple screens are available at the provider site to allow the provider to simultaneously view the patient, any images from diagnostic equipment, and information from the medical record. The third component is a microphone. The microphone allows the patient and clinician to talk to one another. Placement of the microphone will impact the quality of the audio. Microphones are usually placed in front of the provider, hung from the ceiling, or attached to the telemedicine unit. The fourth component is a codec. Codec stands for coding and decoding. The codec is the heart of the system. Its main task is to compress the outgoing video and audio data, transmit this information to the far end, and decompress the incoming information. The codec also provides embedded security encryption. One element that separates telemedicine from video conferencing is the use of peripheral equipment, including specialized cameras and diagnostic scopes. Peripherals enhance what a specialist can examine without having to be at the same location. A general-use camera allows a dermatologist to see a skin lesion. An otoscope is used by an ENT specialist to see the inside of the ear. Stethoscopes allow specialists to listen to heart and lung sounds. Non-mydriatic cameras capture retinal images most commonly used for diabetic retinopathy screenings.
The telemedicine systems capture and display image and voice data, but a network is necessary to establish connectivity between locations and to enable data to be transmitted. A network is simply a group of two or more computers linked together. Computers in close proximity to each other are often linked by a LAN, local area network. Telemedicine systems are usually miles apart and require linkage through a WAN, wide area network. The public internet is a common example of a WAN. Because security is so important in telemedicine, an alternative to using the public internet is to use a virtual private network called a VPN. A VPN provides secure communications through the internet. Access to a virtual private network is restricted and only authorized users can communicate through the network.
The amount of data that passes through a network connection is referred to as bandwidth. Bandwidth can be thought of as the roads on which data travels. Increasing bandwidth, like adding lanes on a highway, allows for more data to be transmitted, resulting in higher image quality. Bandwidth is measured in bits per second and is measured in kilobits, megabits, gigabits, and even terabits. Recommended minimum speeds for telemedicine applications range between 384 kilobits and 512 kilobits. At lower speeds, such as 256, the video quality begins to disintegrate, and at 128, you will lose the synchronization of video and sound.
We're now connected at a 128K call.
Narrow bandwidth is often referred to as POTS, plain old telephone system. POTS will transmit images at a rate of 8 to 10 frames per second. For comparison, standard definition television transmits at a rate of 30 frames per second. POTS can be used in some telehealth applications, such as home monitoring, when the encryption and transmission of information does not have to take place as quickly as real-time conferencing.
High bandwidth connections, called broadband, are best suited to the data and live motion images used by live interactive telemedicine. There are different ways to obtain broadband connections. ISDN uses phone lines, but transmits data digitally over these lines. Each phone line is made up of 2 channels transmitting at 64 kbs each. One channel can be used for voice and one for data, or both channels can be used for data, increasing the bandwidth to 128 kbs. To obtain connection speeds high enough for telemedicine, multiple phone lines are bonded together. 3 phone lines bonded together can produce bandwidth equal to the 384 kbs required for telemedicine. The Internet is a common way to obtain broadband connectivity. Internet connectivity is called IP, or Internet Protocol. IP is the set of rules by which information is sent from one computer to another over the Internet through a data cable. Much like the postal system, IP codes data into packages and sends the information to the address provided. It's important to know that ISDN and IP video systems cannot communicate with each other directly. A video bridge or an ISDN IP video gateway is needed for an ISDN-based site to connect to an IP-based site. T1 lines use a dedicated circuit of 24 channels to transfer data between 2 fixed locations. Most phone companies allow you to purchase a portion of the line to transmit your data, called a fractional T1. DSL is a family of technologies that provides digital data transmission over wires of a local telephone network. DSL uses existing telephone lines to establish an IP connection between the local network and the service provider. In the most remote areas where other types of connectivity are not available, a satellite allows telemedicine to be provided. Satellite has been used to monitor the health status of climbers on Mount Everest and to reach the most remote areas of the Amazon jungle. Satellite communications can also assist in disaster response when other connectivity options are not available. Each type of connectivity has its strengths and weaknesses. Location, the type of telemedicine services offered, and budget all play a role in choosing the most appropriate method of connectivity.